A white cop lies about a black woman in court, but he has no idea he's messing with a high-ranking Navy SEAL. You underestimated me, Officer Simmons, but the truth always finds a way. What could make a courtroom fall silent, in shock? A police officer accuses a black woman of resisting arrest and assault. His story. Convincing. Until she takes the stand and turns the entire case upside down. Who is she? And why does her testimony leave the officer, the jury, and even the judge stunned? This is the story of how one lie unraveled, and a fight for justice became a fight for truth. Let's dive into it. The early morning sun cast long, solemn shadows across the polished wooden floor of the grand, yet suffocating courtroom. Rows of wooden benches creaked under the weight of a varied audience. Curious townsfolk, journalists with pens poised over notebooks, and a smattering of faces etched with quiet tension. Among them sat Monica Jackson. Her calm exterior was a carefully constructed dam, holding back a torrent of inner turmoil. Her dark brown skin seemed to absorb the dim, artificial light, her neatly braided hair resting softly on her shoulders. Monica maintained an upright posture, her back straight, her hands clasped lightly in her lap. She was dressed modestly in a crisp white blouse and black slacks, a deliberate choice to convey humility and respect. Yet, her sharp eyes scanned the room with meticulous precision. To a casual observer, she was just another defendant. But to those with a keener eye, an unusual, quiet intensity emanated from her, a stark contrast to the violent accusations she faced. The bailiff's voice, sharp and commanding, called the court to order. All eyes turned as Judge Howard Grayson, an older white man with thinning silver hair, entered. He carried an air of ingrained authority, though his face bore the weariness of years spent presiding over cases he'd rather forget. This one, however, seemed to have kindled a flicker of interest. Perhaps it was the smug presence of Officer Bradley Simmons at the plaintiff's table, or the pervasive murmurings about a case that had already ensnared local news. "State versus Monica Jackson," the bailiff announced, his voice echoing. Monica rose, her movements deliberate and controlled, and faced the judge. The whispers in the room intensified. Officer Simmons leaned back, an expression of confident, almost contemptuous amusement playing on his lips. Dressed sharply in his police uniform, he exuded the kind of arrogance often born from years of unchallenged authority. Monica's lawyer, Benjamin Carter, a young black attorney fresh out of law school, nervously shuffled his notes. He darted a glance at Monica, seeking reassurance, but her gaze remained fixed on the judge, her expression unreadable. Carter took a shallow, steadying breath. "Your Honor," he began, his voice wavering almost imperceptibly, "we are prepared to proceed." The judge nodded. "Officer Simmons, you may take the stand." Simmons rose with an exaggerated flourish, adjusting his uniform before striding to the witness stand. He paused for a theatrical glance at Monica, a faint but unmistakable smirk on his face, a predator sizing up his prey. As he took the oath, Monica studied him, noting the slight fidgeting of his fingers, the subtle shift in his posture. She remained impassive as Simmons began his narrative. "On the evening in question," Simmons declared, his voice steady and loud, "I was responding to a disturbance call. I encountered the defendant, Miss Jackson, loitering outside a closed business." Murmurs rippled through the courtroom. Loitering, a familiar, often misused accusation. Simmons pressed on. "When I approached her and asked what she was doing, she immediately became hostile. She refused to identify herself, raised her voice, and when I attempted to de-escalate, she physically assaulted me." Gasps punctuated his claim. Monica remained still. Simmons shifted, feigning a pained grimace. "She hit me in the chest and attempted to reach for my service weapon. I had no choice but to restrain her." From the back, a woman's voice muttered, "Sounds like a lie." The judge's gavel quickly restored order. "Thank you, Officer Simmons," Judge Grayson said neutrally. "You may step down." Benjamin Carter rose, visibly nervous. Your Honor, before we continue, save it for your cross-examination, Mr. Carter, the judge interjected. Monica leaned towards Carter, whispering, Stay calm. Focus on the facts. As the prosecution rested, Simmons returned to his seat, his smirk now a full grin. He even winked at his fellow officers. Miss Jackson, the judge said, an edge of skepticism in his tone. It's your turn. Monica stood, smoothing her blouse as she approached the stand. A profound silence descended. Miss Jackson, the prosecutor began, can you explain your actions? Monica leaned forward slightly. I can. But first, I need to clarify. The officer's account is not only inaccurate, but intentionally misleading. A collective intake of breath. The prosecutor smirked. Bold accusation. Do you have proof? Monica met his gaze. I believe the truth will come to light. Soon enough. As Monica began her version of events, the tension became palpable. On the night in question, she began, her voice calm but strong, I was on my way home. I stopped near Magnolia and Fifth to check my phone for directions. That's when Officer Simmons approached me. The prosecutor leaned in. And this encounter was completely unprovoked? Not entirely, Monica replied. I was standing on the sidewalk. He approached with his flashlight in my face and asked, not kindly, what I was doing. And your response? I told him I was checking directions. He asked for ID. I asked if I'd done anything wrong. The prosecutor pounced. So, you questioned his authority? I questioned his motive, Monica corrected. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wanted to know why he needed my ID. Murmurs. The gavel. Order! Monica continued. When I asked for clarification, he raised his voice, accused me of being uncooperative. Before I could say more, he grabbed my arm. The prosecutor raised an eyebrow. He restrained you, without cause? Monica nodded. Yes. When I told him to let go, he tightened his grip. He said, and I quote, Women like you need to learn how to listen. Gasps erupted. The judge's gavel came down harder. Order! The prosecutor forced a smile. A serious allegation. Any proof? Monica looked at him. No, because his body camera conveniently malfunctioned. Isn't that right, Officer Simmons? All eyes turned to Simmons, who shifted uncomfortably. His smirk. Gone! Let's focus on the facts, the prosecutor said. What happened next? I told him I didn't consent to being touched. He didn't let go. Instead, he accused me of resisting, though I hadn't moved. When I tried to pull my arm away, he slammed me against the patrol car. Her words hit hard, and after that, he handcuffed me, arrested me for assaulting an officer. Miss Jackson, you're strong. Did he feel threatened? I'm not stronger than a trained officer, Monica stated. And I didn't resist until he violated my rights. I also didn't reach for his weapon. That was a fabrication, to justify his use of force. Simmons shifted again. The prosecutor's face darkened. You're asking us to believe a decorated officer fabricated this? Anything to back up your version? A faint, powerful smile touched Monica's lips. The truth always reveals itself, Counselor. You'll see. The judge leaned forward. Miss Jackson, are you implying there's unseen evidence? Carter stood. Your Honor, we intend to submit additional evidence. The prosecutor scoffed. Stalling. Tactics, Monica told the judge. Truth takes time, but when it comes out, it will be undeniable. Judge Grayson studied her. Very well, recess until tomorrow. As Monica left, Carter whispered, Are you sure? Monica reassured him. Trust me, Ben. Tomorrow, the truth speaks. That evening, at Monica's modest home, Benjamin Carter faced her. You have to tell me what you're holding back, he urged. Monica retrieved a worn, leather-bound folder. My service record, she said simply. Benjamin opened it. Commendations, discharge papers, training certifications. His eyes widened. You were a Navy SEAL, she finished for him. Lieutenant Commander. Retired. He stared, dumbfounded. Monica. This changes everything. Why didn't you tell me? Because it's not just about who I was, she said. It's about what Simmons represents, exposing the corruption that allows this. Simmons. Won't crumble easily, Monica added. Men like him double down. We must be strategic. So what's the plan? Benjamin asked. Monica's eyes glinted. Tomorrow, we show the court the truth. Not just Simmons's lies, but the system that enables him. They need to see me not as a defendant, but as the woman who spent 20 years protecting the very freedoms he tried to strip from me. Benjamin felt a chill of awe. Tomorrow's going to be a fight. Her eyes fierce, she replied, I've been fighting my whole life, Ben. Tomorrow's just another battle. The next morning, the courtroom buzzed. Simmons, recalled to the stand, reiterated his claims, though a hint of strain now laced his voice. When Benjamin Carter rose to cross-examine, the atmosphere tightened. Officer Simmons, Carter began, you testified my client became aggressive. Correct? That's correct, Simmons affirmed, rigid. And your body camera? Malfunctioned. Convenient, wouldn't you say? Equipment malfunctions happen, Simmons retorted. Of course, Carter conceded. But is it also a coincidence, Officer Simmons, that a witness captured part of this encounter on their phone? The courtroom erupted. Mr. Carter, the judge demanded. Present your evidence. Carter submitted a USB drive. The screen flickered, shaky footage, but the audio was chillingly clear. Simmons's sharp command, don't make this harder than it needs to be. Monica's firm reply, I'm not resisting. Let go of my arm. Then, the visual of Simmons shoving Monica against the car, his voice biting, women like you don't get to question me. The courtroom exploded again. During the recess, Carter was ecstatic. That footage tore his testimony apart. Monica remained composed. It's a crack in the wall, Ben, but walls don't fall with cracks alone. When court reconvened, Monica Jackson took the stand. Her presence commanded silence. Miss Jackson, Carter began, you've heard the accusations. Are they true? No, they are not, Monica replied firmly. She recounted her version, detailing Simmons's unprovoked aggression. His actions weren't about law enforcement, she stated. They were about control, about asserting power over someone. He assumed, couldn't fight back. Carter paused. Miss Jackson, is there more to your story? Monica leaned forward. Yes, she said, her voice resonating. There is more. I am Lieutenant Commander Monica Jackson, retired Navy SEAL. I served my country for 20 years in the most dangerous combat zones. I've led teams requiring discipline, precision, and strength, qualities I carry every day. Stunned silence, then gasps. Judge Grayson was momentarily speechless. Simmons blanched. As a Navy SEAL, Carter pressed, did you use that training? Yes, Monica said. I used it to stay calm, de-escalate, and protect myself, without resorting to violence. Simmons wasn't a threat to my safety. He was a threat to my dignity, and I refused to let him strip me of that. The courtroom erupted. Benjamin then asked the jury, you've heard two versions. Now you've heard the truth from a woman who defended this country. Who do you believe? Simmons, recalled by a desperate prosecutor, tried to salvage his story, claiming the video was incomplete. But under Carter's sharp cross-examination, he visibly crumbled. Officer Simmons, Carter pressed, you accused a decorated Navy SEAL of being a threat. Embarrassed to know she's faced dangers you can't imagine? Simmons flinched. Irrelevant. She wasn't acting like a SEAL that night. And you weren't acting like a police officer, Carter shot back. You were a bully. You didn't count on her standing. Up to you, did you? Simmons was speechless. Carter then presented his final evidence, Officer Simmons's personnel record. What it reveals, he told the jury, is a pattern. Multiple complaints, excessive force, racial bias, improper conduct. Ignored or buried. This is a pattern of abuse. Monica then addressed the jury directly. My name is Lieutenant Commander Monica Jackson, she began. I've faced enemies on the battlefield. I never thought I'd face one in my own country. That night, I wasn't a threat. I was simply existing. Officer Simmons saw me as a target. You underestimated me, Officer Simmons. You underestimated the truth, and the truth has a way of coming to light. She turned to the judge. Your Honor, I fought for this country. I fought for justice. I'm here to fight for everyone wronged by those sworn to protect them. Applause thundered. The prosecutor's closing argument was strained. Mistakes may have been made, he conceded. Benjamin Carter, in contrast, was passionate. This isn't complex, it's simple. My client, an American hero, was profiled, mistreated, and lied about for asking why. This is about accountability. Today, you send a message. Hours later, the jury returned. The courtroom was packed. The foreperson stood. In the case of State versus Monica Jackson, we find the defendant not guilty on all charges. A wave of emotion. The foreperson continued. Furthermore, we strongly recommend an investigation into Officer Simmons's conduct. Judge Grayson nodded gravely. Officer Simmons, I suggest you retain counsel. Outside, Monica faced the media. This isn't just my victory, she said. It's a victory for accountability, for justice, for everyone silenced. Months later, Officer Simmons was dismissed and faced criminal charges. Monica Jackson became a symbol of resilience, her story inspiring others. Her fight wasn't over. For her, justice was a way of life. The truth had prevailed. And just like that, the truth prevailed. A courageous woman stood her ground, exposing lies and demanding justice in a system designed to silence her. This story isn't just about one victory. It's a reminder that standing up for what's right can change everything. If this story moved you, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more powerful stories like this one. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update, and join me as we uncover more tales of resilience, justice, and redemption. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.